and welcome to Study with Sudhir, and my name is Tejaswini Sudhir and this is Teju Ki Pathshala. Today we are going to be starting the first chapter in ICSE Class 10 Mathematics, and that is Goods and Service Tax, GST. So I'm going to be doing this in three parts. The first part, I'm going to be telling you what is GST, what are the different terms you need to be knowing in this particular chapter. I'm going to be dividing the entire questions into three parts, and बहुत मजा आएगा, हम सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर देंगे and any question on GST you will be finding it easy to answer the question. Let us start. So yeah, this is we are going to be doing GST. Let's go. So what is GST? GST is something आप कोई भी शॉप में जाएं, you will be hearing okay GST इतना लगता है, तो फाइनल प्राइस थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाता है. सपोज एक you're buying a soap for 30 rupees, you will realize that when you're actually paying the bill, you're paying a little more. That is because you are asked to pay a GST, goods and service tax, on each item you buy. So why do we need this tax? This tax is used by the state and central governments for them to create different infrastructure to make our lives better. For instance, आपको एक रोड बनाना हो गवर्नमेंट को, कहाँ से आएगा पैसा? This tax is used for such things like making roads, flyovers, different work. पहले there used to be many types of tax. All of that tax has now been combined and it is being called the Goods and Service Tax, GST. Any service, any good you purchase, there will be a GST applied to it. So as I told you, entertainment tax, excise, CST, VAT, local tax, entry tax, all of this is combined to be called GST. What it is said is one nation, one tax. So tax levied by government on sale of goods and services is what is GST. Single replacement of several taxes and money is spent on facilities. This is precisely what मैंने अभी तक explain किया है. This is not something which is going to come, but you need to really understand what exactly is GST. आप क्या पढ़ रहे हो ये चैप्टर में, आपको समझना बहुत जरूरी है. So here are some important terms on GST, right? So let us look at each of these terms carefully. Again, as I told you, it's not like you're going to be asked the definition of these terms, but ये terms सब आएंगे आपके numericals में, आपके sums में, word problems से, and you need to be understanding what each term means. So the first term here is a manufacturer. All of you know manufacturer कौन होता है? A manufacturer is a person who produces these goods for sale. जो produce करता है उसको manufacturer बोलते हैं. So what is it? It's a producer. Producer of goods is known as a manufacturer, right? Then next is a trader. Trader, बोले तो क्या? Trader is someone who buys the goods and resells them, right? A trader buys the goods from a particular person, possibly the manufacturer, and resells it to another place. You know, when I'm thinking about all this, I'm thinking about how a farmer is a manufacturer in a way, right? And he doesn't directly come and sell the goods in the market. You don't see him in your day-to-day markets. There is a trader, almost like a middleman. You know, a trader buys the goods from the farmer and then sells it. Similarly, even in any good, suppose even it's a soap, you have a soap which is manufactured by a particular company, then it is sold to a trader who then resells it. So basically, a trader is someone who resells, right? ये स्मार्ट बोर्ड में ना ये हैंड राइटिंग अच्छा नहीं रहता है, बट मेरा हैंड राइटिंग बड़ा अच्छा है, यहाँ पे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट इज इंट्रा स्टेट सेल. इंट्रा, समथिंग विच यू हैव you'll come across. Intra and inter. Intra means within. So intra state sales means within a particular state, right? Within state. So intrastate sales means अगर selling goods or providing services inside a same state is known as intrastate sale. For example, there is a tuition teacher and he's having a business. There's a local tuition teacher who teaches at, say, this particular house, and obviously the people who come to that tuition teacher, since it's an offline tuition teacher, is all students who live in the same locality, obviously within the same state. So the tax they will have to pay is called intra-state sale, because the service is being provided within the same state, whereas interstate sale means when it is between two states. Suppose I am buying idol in Rajasthan and I'm going to sell it in Uttar Pradesh. खरीदा एक जगह, selling एक जगह. So this is known as interstate sale. That is between states, right? Listen to my definitions very carefully. Next is input GST and output GST, right? Input GST and output GST. Input GST is the tax that is paid by the trader when he is trying to purchase the goods or providing services, right? So when the trader is trying to purchase the goods, first वो खरीदता है फिर बेचता है, right? So जब वो खरीद रहा है, the GST that he needs to pay is known as input GST. ये याद रखो that the trader is the main actor, he is the hero of your entire story. जब वो खरीद रहा है, it's called input. जब वो बेच रहा है, it's called output, right? So input GST is when he is purchasing. जब वो खरीद रहा है, the GST that he has to pay is known as input GST. Output GST is when he is selling the goods. The GST he has to pay when he is selling his goods or services is known as output GST. राइट, इनपुट एंड आउटपुट ठीक से समझ में आ गया. नेक्स्ट इज टर्नओवर. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड ये साल टर्नओवर अच्छा था, ये फाइनेंशियल ईयर द टर्नओवर वाज वेरी गुड फॉर एक्स कंपनी, द टर्नओवर वाज नॉट वेरी गुड. व्हाट इज टर्नओवर? टर्नओवर इज द टोटल अमाउंट रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम सेल ऑफ गुड्स एक्सक्लूडिंग टैक्स. बेसिकली टोटल अमाउंट रिसीव फ्रॉम सेल ऑफ गुड्स. दैट मीन्स आपने कितना बनाया है, आपके गुड्स के सेल के बाद कितना बनाया है एक्सक्लूडिंग टैक्स इज नोन एज टर्नओवर. टर्नओवर इज समथिंग विच आप सब समझते ही होंगे कि इट इज अमाउंट ऑफ मनी मेड. इट इज एक्सक्लूडिंग टैक्स इज समथिंग विच यू नीड टू बी रिमेंबरिंग, राइट? सो इतना ही है. लेट्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट थिंग. ऑल दिस थियरी, you don't need to be knowing the definitions, but it's important that you understand what these terms mean, because GST में जो questions आते हैं, it comes as a word problem. So you know ये term दिया रहेगा कि input GST इतना था या manufacturer ने ये किया. You need to be understanding what each of these terms mean. In fact, when I wrote my board exams, GST chapter था ही नहीं, because GST ही नहीं था. Our first chapter used to be banking. It's only introduced when one nation one tax, when it got introduced, when GST got introduced, that's when this started. So I wrote my board exams in 2019 and 19 और तब GST था ही नहीं syllabus में. Now let us know the मुझे blue चाहिए. Yeah, so types of taxes under GST. So there are 3 taxes under GST. One is Central Goods and Service Tax. Central Goods and Service Tax, CGST. ये सब आपके क्वेश्चंस में आएंगे. Calculate CGST, calculate SGST. So Central Goods and Service Tax is the GST, is a tax which goes to the central government. It's very obvious. It's central बोले तो central government, state बोले तो state government, है ना? समझ में आ गया ना? So central this thing goes to the central government. State goods and service tax goes to the state government. So basically what happens, in the previous slide I told you about intrastate sale and interstate sale, right? So when there is intrastate sale, that is within the same state, whatever GST is collected, उसमें से आधा goes to the central government, आधा goes to the state government. Got it? जो पूरा जीएसटी आपको मिला है एक इंट्रा स्टेट सेल में विद इन आई एम में तेलंगाना, विद इन तेलंगाना अगर कोई गुड्स सेल हुआ या सर्विस प्रोवाइड हुआ है, वॉट एवर टैक्स इज कलेक्टेड उसमें से आधा गोज टू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, दैट इज आधा मोदी गवर्नमेंट को जाएगा एंड आधा गोज टू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हियर. ओके, So you have the central goods and service tax. So the amount which goes to the central government is known as CGST, and the amount that goes to the state government is known as SGST, right? Next, ये क्या है? Integrated goods and service tax, IGST. What is this? Integrated goods and service tax is when there is interstate. Interstate बोले तो क्या है? When there is between two states, when there is sale of goods or services between two states. I gave you the example of Rajasthan and UP, right? So when such sale happens, it is known as interstate. तब no state government will get any money, because अगर राजस्थान से यूपी हुआ है, so Rajasthan government should get money or UP government, that cannot be decided, right? So no money goes to any state government. So in interstate sale, whatever tax is collected goes only to the central government, right? So that tax collected is known as integrated goods and service tax. Got it? So you have three types of tax. They may easily ask you a question that ये ऐसे होता है. Calculate CGST, SGST, and if applicable IGST. You need to be knowing what is intra, looking at it carefully, and then answering the question. हम बहुत सारे numericals करेंगे so that you get a hang of the entire chapter, right? Let's go to the next. So this, not that they'll ask you, मैंने spices खरीदे और इसका tax क्या होगा, but this is something which is very interesting, and I think all of us need to know, and it's something which we see in our day-to-day lives, right? So the GST rate structure, each item का different rate of GST रहता है, right? ऐसा नहीं कि आप एक छोटा सा पेन खरीदोगे और एक एयर कंडीशनर खरीदोगे और दोनों का सेम रेट ऑफ जीएसटी रहेगा, सेम मनी जाएगा, ऐसा थोड़ी ना होता है. So the GST rate structure for essential items is 0%. The government takes no tax for any sort of essential items. Essential items is what? Food, medicine. There is no tax applied, right? Then on common usage items. Common usage items is what? For 5%. Common usage items is like spices, edible oils. Spices, edible oils are common usage items that takes 5% GST. Statement items. Statement items is 12%. Statement items is what? Processed food. Processed food is 19%. Other goods and all services is 18%. Most of the things will come under this. Other goods and services, suppose आपने एक soap खरीदा, आपने एक shampoo खरीदा, you are buying a particular course. Depends. Most services and soaps, shampoos, every other normal item will have 18% GST. That is 18% of the money you are, the MRP of the particular item will be charged extra and go as GST, right? Then next is the highest, which is luxury items, and a lot of items which are like tobacco, luxury cars, वो सबका GST is 28%, right? So this particular pie chart is not is how much of out of the total GST that comes, कितना percentage spices, edible oils type of things से आता है, 7.9. This you don't need to remember the figures. It's just interesting to see that max, obviously, because 28%, so the maximum GST that a government possibly gets will be from this part, that is tobacco, luxury cars, etc. And good that food, essential items, there is no GST applied on it, right? Now let us go to some of the more important things to remember in this particular chapter, right? Terms to remember. These are very important terms to remember, and I think most of you will be very familiar with these particular terms, because I think right from 6th, 7th class we do this chapter, right, called profit and loss. So all these terms actually come in that particular chapter as well. So what is cost price? Cost price, we can say it is CP. Cost price is the price at which an article is bought, right? Very obvious. Cost, kitna cost hai. The price at which an article is bought is known as cost price. So a lot of these overhead charges, like for example, you're going to a supermarket, the petrol, it costs for you to go from your house to the particular market to buy that particular good. Or if you're going by taxi, that ठीक है 100 rupees taxi में हुआ, plus the item is 400 rupees. So you can say, and you're actually going to resell it. So your cost price, all those overhead charges will be added to the cost price when you're finally finding what is your cost price, right? So suppose, I mean, in word problems they may give you like that you know, एक shopkeeper था जिसका नाम ढोलू था. He went to buy an item for 400 rupees. वो बैलगाड़ी में गया तो उसका 100 rupees ज़्यादा हुआ. So cost price becomes 500 rupees, and then he sold it for 700 rupees. Sold it for 700 rupees. What is that called? It is called the selling price. That is SP. You use CP and SP in your questions. So he sold it for 500 में खरीदा, cost price 500 का था, और he sold it for 700 rupees. What is the profit? 200 rupees. And how do you find it? Selling price minus cost price. So profit is nothing but selling price minus cost price. It can either be a profit or a loss. So this is true just in case selling price is greater than the cost price. Agar selling price is less than the cost price, then it is a loss. When if it is a loss, then the cost price will be greater than the selling price. So the loss can be calculated as cost price minus selling price. When you're trying to find the profit percentage or the loss percentage, it is nothing but, so I'm just writing as P% is nothing but profit by the cost price into 100. And even if it is loss percentage, it is again loss by cost price into 100. Right? So that's how you have profit and you have loss. Next is marked price. Marked price is like quoted price, right? The price of an article excluding tax is known as marked price. That is the price marked for a particular article. For example, that soap 30 rupees के लिए बिकता है. That is the marked price of that particular article. है ना? Marked price need not be the selling price, right? So that is the marked price. Next is discount. Discount तो आप सबको पता ही होगा. Discount is the कितना छूट आपको एक particular article पे खरीदने पे मिलता है. 5% discount, 10% discount. All of you must be familiar with it. So how do you calculate discount? Discount is nothing but the mark price minus selling price. That is लिखा हुआ है, like for example when you're buying on Amazon, जब Great Indian Sale होता है सब लिखा होगा ना कि item है 30,000 के लिए, cut मैं आपको 22,000 में दे रहा हूँ. So that's the mark price and that is the selling price, and the difference between the two is the discount, right? And the discount, since a lot of times it's in the form of, you know, agar aap SBI debit card se khareed rahe ho, to you have this rate of discount, right? So discount, how do you calculate? If you're given the rate, discount is equal to rate into mark price by 100. That is, discount is equal to rate of discount into marked price divided by 100. That is, discount will be equal to, suppose 10% का discount मिल रहा है 10,000 rupees पर. So 10 by 100 into 10,000 will give you the discount. Then after that, when you're trying to find actual कितना आपको pay करना, तो you have to minus the discount, subtract the discount from the price, and then you will get the discount that finally आपको कितना pay करना पड़ रहा है. So these are some of the terms which you need to be remembering as far as this chapter is concerned. All these are very familiar terms. Just that you just need to remember कि ठीक है ये ऐसा है, calm mind से सोचो, right? So ठीक है, question पहले मत देखो, मैं पहले बात करती हूँ. So the questions in this particular chapter, I am going to be dividing it into 3 parts: starters, main course, or dessert. ठीक है. Starters is like your gobi Manchurian, crispy corn. the quality of a starter in a particular restaurant or cafe will according to me tells how a particular cafe or restaurant is. Similarly, आप जितना अच्छे से आप starters कर पाओगे उतना अच्छा आपको ये chapter पे grip आएगा. The better you do the starters, the better quality of understanding of your starters is, the better you will be able to do your main course questions and dessert questions. So starters, I'm going to be in this particular video, I'm going to be dealing with a few starters, and then main course में बहुत सारे questions आएंगे और dessert में तो बहुत मजा आएगा. ठीक है ना? So let us start with our first starter. Let me go for black, right? Should I go for less thickness or more thickness? Okay. Taking. So this are starters. Question 1. So I'm buying an air conditioner for 30,000 rupees. For 30,000 rupees, I'm buying an air conditioner. The rate of GST is 18%. Correct now? All other goods 18%. Not that you need to remember that table, but मैं बोल रही हूँ कि वही है. Find amount of tax I need to pay to the central government. कहीं तो पढ़ा हुआ था ये. This is nothing but your CGST. Amount of tax I pay to the state government. This is nothing but your SGST. Total tax I pay. Total tax I pay is your take them. Chalo. So let us go to the next page. Right? So क्या लिखा हुआ था? The total amount is nothing but 30,000 rupees, and GST rate is 18%. So this we can consider, since they have not mentioned that it's from one state to another or nothing of that sort. As you know, in when we learned the concept of CGST and SGST, we learned that जो भी टैक्स हो उसमें से आधा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को जाता है, आधा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को जाता है. सो अगर 18% का जीएसटी रेट है तो उसमें से 9% सेंट्रल को जाता होगा, 9% स्टेट को जाता होगा, राइट? सो first they have asked us what is the amount I pay to the central government. So central government is nothing but CGST will be nothing but, so इसमें से what I'm trying to say is that 9 and 9, right? Because आधा state को आधा central को. So CGST will be nothing but 9 divided by 100 into this, which is 30,000, right? So 2 0 यहाँ, 2 0 यहाँ, which is 9 3s are 27, 0 0. So 2,700 rupees. This is the answer to my A first bit, right? So the CGST is nothing but 2,700 rupees, right? Now कितना होगा SGST? SGST will be nothing but SGST 9 divided by 100 into 30,000, right? Starter से याद आया, I live in Chennai, right? So I go to a lot of these cafes, restaurants there. So I realized that the starters you get, I mean everything. Like I went one day back to back to a cafe and a restaurant, and same दोनों जगह एक starter, दो main course और एक dessert, दोनों जगह खरीदा. Obviously because cafes are just these little pretty places to go, so it cost much more than what a restaurant cost. And to be very honest, though it was fancy, what the taste, at least in the place I went to a multi-cuisine restaurant, and then I went to this very pretty poolside cafe. The restaurant had much better taste and for much less. So you have SGST and CGST. Then they have asked you the total tax, right? Total tax that I need to pay. So the total tax I need to pay will be CGST plus SGST. Just give me a few more days and I'll get used to writing on this. So it is nothing but 2,700 rupees plus 2,700 rupees. Just listen to what I'm saying carefully, because even if you don't understand that this is 7, but so no. So 2,700 rupees plus 2,700 rupees is 27 plus 27 is 54. So you have 5,400 rupees. Right? Let's just go back to the question and see if everything we wanted is answered. Amount of tax paid to the central government, CGST, which is 9% of 30,000, which is 2,700 rupees. Then amount paid to the state government is again 9% into 30,000, which is 2,700 rupees. And the amount total GST I pay will be CGST plus SGST, which is 2,700 plus 2,700, which is 5,400 rupees. This is a very simple question. Starter question था, इसीलिए आप ऐसे mind calculations कर पा रहे थे. But as you go forward, desert में सब नहीं कर पाओगे आप mind calculations. आपको pen और paper लिख के बैठ के लिखना ही पड़ेगा. Even now, I really hope you guys are actually noting it down somewhere, so that you know you're at least starting off when you're practicing, right? All maths, always my teacher used to say, cannot be read. So you need to actually sit and have a pen and paper and start solving. That's when you really get a hang of maths. Next question in starters is the second question. Yahan pe this is the final value, not this. So question number 2 says, Uma goes to the shop to buy an item quoted at rupees 2,900. The rate of GST is 16%. समझ लो कि GST 16% है. She says, "Bhaiya, discount though," and she wants to pay a total of 2,000 rupees, 2,900 rupees only, inclusive of GST. Find the discount she gets. So basically, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Uma is going to buy a particular item from the shop. Item का price है 2,900 rupees, है ना? What she says is that मेरे को discount ऐसा दो भैया कि item का price plus GST सब ऐड करने पर भी सेम 2,900 rupees ही आए. उतना डिस्काउंट चाहिए उमा मैडम को. So what do we do? One thing you need to remember mainly is that जो भी GST you are applying is on the final price of the article. जो भी article का final price हो, that is after discount. Always remember this. GST has to be applied only after discount. Right? After the final price, जो भी आप finally खरीद रहे हो उस पे ही GST लगेगा. If you notice, suppose आप Amazon Prime पे एक ड्रेस खरीद रहे हो, the initial price was 500 rupees. Again there is a Independence Day sale, and for 500 rupees का ड्रेस आपको 300 rupees पे मिल रहा है. फाइनली आफ्टर आपने वो 300 रुपीज का इंडिपेंडेंस डे सेल लगा लिया, उसके बाद आपने SBI कार्ड पे अनदर 30 रुपीज कम करा दिए, तो 270 रुपीज आया. वो 270 रुपीज पे ही GST लगेगा. वॉट एवर इज द फाइनल प्राइस आफ्टर एवरी सॉर्ट ऑफ डिस्काउंट, वॉट यू आर पेइंग इज गोइंग टू बी द फाइनल प्राइस. उस प्राइस पे ही GST लगेगा. राइट? रिमेंबर दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इन ऑल द क्वेश्चंस यू डू. सो उमा के जो आइटम पे GST लगेगा, that will be after the discount. So we are asked to find this discount, right? So let us say this discount is X. Discount के बाद let us say that suppose 2,900 rupees minus discount first लगा देंगे हम. Discount, she has to pay X rupees. जो भी है डिस्काउंट का वैल्यू, she has to now pay X, right? ये X पे ही GST लगेगा, है ना? फिर उसके बाद what she is saying, जो भी GST के बाद एडेड वैल्यू है वो भी 2,900 रुपीज ही रहना चाहिए. So that means ये X वैल्यू प्लस GST पे जो भी मनी हो वो सब मिला के 2,900 रुपीज ही रहना चाहिए. Correct? How do we calculate this? This part needs to be calculated because we want this x. When we find this x, then we can find the discount as well. Correct? GST का क्या है? GST का जो भी परसेंटेज है into x. GST का जो भी रेट है, rate by 100 into this x value will give the GST. Correct? GST कितना दिया हुआ था? GST they're saying is 16% and this thing is 2,900 rupees. ठीक है? So this is the equation which you are formulating. Now let us go. So x plus GST. GST was 16%. 16, that is rate, by 100 into x, right, should still be 2,900 rupees. So this is simple maths now. So LCM करा देंगे. So 100x plus 16x by 100 is equal to 2,900 rupees. Right? 100x plus 16x is 116x divided by 100 is equal to 2,900. Right? X पता लगाना है. So x will be equal to 2,900 into 100 divided by 116. Right? This is your thing. आप डिविजन कर लो. डिविजन सब करने के बाद आपको आएगा कि 2,900 into 100 by 116 is nothing but 2,500 rupees. Right? I mean, even if you want, I'll do the division for you. 4 2s are 8, 9, 10, 11, 36. So it comes to 29 and so 29 into 4 is 116 and we can say that 29 into, 4 into 25 is 100. Then 29 ones are, 29 hundreds are, 100 into 25 is 2,500 rupees को मत भूलिएगा. So ये तो मिल गया आपको x. You found out what is x, but question क्या दिया हुआ है? Discount कितना मिला मैडम को is the question. So as you saw very well here, discount will be equal to 2,900. Basically, discount is equal to 2,900 minus x. X is now 2,500 rupees, which is nothing but 400 rupees. Right? So what does it basically mean? Item was for 2,900 rupees. There was a discount applied, because of which discount of 400 rupees applied, because of which the item became 2,500 rupees. On the 2,500 rupees, when GST was applied, it again came to 2,900 rupees. So basically, almost you can say कि nullify हो गया. GST discount के साथ nullify होके same price पे उमा ने खरीद लिया item को. ये इस concept समझ में आ गया? This is one of the starter questions. It's like a preparation for you to be able to solve the main course questions, right? So with this, we come to the end of this particular video. This was the first part in the 3-part series in which I'll be covering the first chapter of mathematics, goods and service tax. And next video में I will be doing some main course questions जो slightly tricky रहेंगे और शायद वही level में आपके exam में आएंगे. And उसकी next video में probably we'll do a little more of main course and then we'll go to the desert questions which are more long format questions which बहुत मजा आएगा. So till then, do subscribe to Study with Sudhir YouTube channel, and to connect with me, you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Tejaswini 1008, and similarly, you can also follow our official Instagram page for Study with Sudhir, which is nothing but just Study with Sudhir, and where we post a lot of updates and regularly interact with all our subscribers. So मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में. टाटा, बाय बाय.